and welcome. I was actually filming a tree felling video today, but as I was walking past I spotted the very first red raspberry on these thornless raspberries that I planted early this spring. I think it was early this spring. Oh, where is it? Can we see it? There we go. I think it was early this spring. I'm going to start that video again because it's not happening very well. Hang on, pushkins. There it is, a flash of red amongst the green. So of course I'm going to eat it. Perfect. Oh wow. Now I haven't grown raspberries before because of their prickly stems, and I desperately try and avoid anything with thorns and spikes and prickles and stings. But when I came across this thornless variety of raspberry, I just had to give it a go. Oh, and it does taste amazing. I have a thornless blackberry, you can actually see it hanging over the edge here, that I've been growing for several years. The blackberries are a little bit more tart than those you would find in the hedgerows growing, but still taste very much of blackberries and are still delicious. And it has no spikes or prickles. And that's what tempted me into this raspberry. No spikes or prickles. I don't know if it'll grow root runners and start popping up everywhere, as raspberries often tend to do, or if it's going to be the clump forming, stay in one place sort of raspberry. But the fact it's thornless, what are you doing, cat? But the fact it's thornless means it can do either, and I'll be perfectly happy. Especially as its fruits taste that good. Oh, that was so nice. I can't wait till next year when it's big enough to have lots of them. Got a few more fruits to come. Can we see them? No. They're just a little yellow at the moment, but I wouldn't want to overtire it in its first year. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy. I planted 5 of them, I think. I think one of them's got a label with it. I'll go and see if I can find it, and I'll type its name on the screen for you. There we go, I found its label. So we are Raspberry Autumn Treasure. Can crop from early August right through to the end of September. Well, I've just had my first raspberry from the bare root cuttings I planted spring, and we are early July in the southwest of England. Another plant I love because of its lack of spikes is this knapweed. Well, plant, it's a weed as its name would suggest. And here is the first of its flowers for this season. They look very much like the Scottish thistle, but unlike the Scottish thistle, no spikes or prickles to offend the skin. So it's a really pretty little flower, and it will have lots of them. These little brown buds are flowers to come, and I think it looks gorgeous. Even though it's officially labelled a weed, I nurture it, encourage it, and love having it in the garden. Now, you saw me a week or 2 ago harvesting red currants off the red currant bush just outside the house. But this one up in the garden tends to ripen a couple of weeks later. I have no idea why. We're in the same weather conditions in the same part of the country. But it does. It's quite an advantage. It gives me a longer harvest. But I've noticed on this one, it's showing signs of a condition called blistering aphid. I'll bring you in close and show you what I mean. Here on these leaves, you will see, instead of being all smooth like that one, this leaf is literally blistered, apparently caused by some form of aphid. I very rarely see any aphids. You just see the blistering after effects of their presence. And what I do when I start seeing this is literally remove all of the leaves with this blistered effect. They're not doing the bush any good because they're all damaged and blistered, so they're not soaking up all the sun's nutrition that the shrub would want. Here at the top there's a whole sprig of even worsely affected. Very often these blisters will go red, so you'll get a red blistering aphid. It's the same condition. So what I'm going to do now is go over this bush and see if I can spot all the leaves that are damaged, showing the beginning signs of damage, and pick them all off. You might see one like that a little bit, remove it, and I'm going to put them on the bonfire. Having collected these leaves, you need to destroy them. Burn them and put them in your rubbish. You do not want to leave them lying around the garden to reinfect the plant again later in the season or next year. Oh, here's some red ones. This young shoot here is showing the red colour in its blisters, so they're going to be going as well. And some red currants I'm going to munch. Yum yum. Now this does affect the bush every year. You'll see some of it. And a couple of years ago, before I really knew what the condition was, my red currant bush at the house was absolutely covered in blisters. I did a bit of research, found out what the condition was, and set to removing all my damaged leaves. I practically stripped the bush bare. It looked like an autumn twig when I'd finished. It regrew a new succession of leaves that looked relatively healthy. And each year after, whenever I see the hints of blistering aphid, I pick off the few leaves just as I spot them. And now, a couple of years down the line, the shrub is looking clean and healthy. Yes, I've had some blistered aphid leaves this year, but maybe only 30 or 40 in a great big enormous 3 foot by 3 foot shrub. The blistering aphid will not affect the fruit that you harvest. You'll still get a good crop from your bush and can use it for eating and jams and anything you want. And if you keep picking off and destroying those leaves, hopefully in the years to come, your bush will be less infected and start looking healthy and strong again. When I came out to the garden this morning, I meant to pack myself a snack for lunch, so I wouldn't have to go back into the house until this evening. But I completely forgot. I still shan't be going back into the house though. I've been raiding the garden for my snack instead. Harvested some red currants from the red currant bush, which is how I spotted the blistering aphid. I've got some wonderful pea pods and strawberries and extra delight. Oh, and I did find one more red raspberry, so I'm looking forward to that. It's not quite as red as the first one I ate, but I'm sure it'll be just as delicious. And some sweet corn. Now the grandson had one of these the other day and it was looking gorgeous. I'm not sure how well pollinated we are. It's always a bit iffy in here because I have to do it by hand, and sometimes I don't do it very well. So let's see what this one looks like. And if it's rubbish, there's always more to try. Oh, you know your sweet corn's ready to harvest when this hairy, fluffy, tassely bit at the top goes all brown and dry and shriveled. If it's still looking a bit fleshy, they're not ready. Oh, come on, nearly in there. Keep going. Have we got any sweet corn? Oh, I don't know. It's not looking promising. What have we got? Oh, yay! Can't get it off. Yay! Oh, wonderful! So, corn and peas for lunch, followed by strawberries and red currants. Couldn't be better. I forgot to mention, because I take it so for granted, I shall eat my sweet corn like this, raw and fresh, straight off the plant. It is delicious. If you leave it uneaten for a couple of days, it will certainly need boiling in a pan and drenching in butter and salt and pepper. Gorgeous, but fresh, straight off the plant. It's sweet, milky and creamy and yum. Gorgeous. Not sure when I'll see you next. This little snippet wasn't planned at all, but lots of my videos aren't. There's just something exciting happening and I think, oh, that'll make a good video. Whether it makes a good one or not, I don't know. It certainly makes a video. So bye for now. Perhaps we'll catch you later. Oh, so good. I think it's time I released my sunflower and squash from their netted protection. They're going to have to take their chances with the rabbits. Surprisingly enough, this long leggy specimen is also a sunflower. It's from the same set of seeds planted at the same time. Difference being this one never got as far as being planted into the ground. Wasn't sure where I wanted to plant it. I didn't have any time. So it's been left stood in this pot. It's been getting watered, but that's all. Got a lot of roots growing out the bottom. And this flimsy, tall, leggy specimen. And this flimsy, skinny, wispy specimen of a sunflower. It's still producing a little bud, I see. So that's the difference from giving them a good place to grow or keeping them restricted in too small a pot. Let's get these some freedom. I'll move you back out the way. I think you need to go back into the compost. As well. A snail! Woo! On the front. On the front. Right. Yay! Freedom! Squashy's doing. Romping away. Oh, we snapped the end off of this one, that's a shame. Damaged a squash. Oh well, can't be helped now. I wonder if it'll produce a side shoot. It should do. I hope so. The enormous gladioli bulbs I have produced enormous gladioli. Sadly though, most of them are all falling over and I don't want to prop them up now. I'm nervous I will snap the stems. They're starting to flower though, so I'm going to pick the flowers and have them in a vase. The plant can use its energy fattening up that bulb again for next year, and I can enjoy the beautiful flowers indoors at the house. So let's get this first one. It's actually got 2 shoots on it. Snap! Yay! Where are we? Really close. Here it is up close. Absolutely gorgeous. This one's been doing so well, it's actually got a second flower spike coming out the side. I'm not sure how I'm going to manage to vase this, but I'll do my best. something with a real heavy base to help balance it. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.